All right, been a little bit here, but we are recording uh, the finals of Grand Prix Bastion d'Olay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it is the final standard Rev GP of the year. We have confirmed the next GP will be Eternal. Uh, and our players are about to begin. We have two uh, absolutely stellar players here in this match. We have Stasis versus All Who Wander, Phoenix Star here. Stasis is the higher seed, so we'll be playing first. We have two very interesting decks here at the table. We have uh, Black Red Extraction Mission matched up against uh, Incumbency Control. Uh, Hard to really describe All Who Wanders list here, but they call it not check, but certainly a pile. It is a like Jeskai-ish control shell with some black cards thrown in there. Um, so I would imagine the plan is to have Incumbency uh, pledge to something green, uh, either Penwrath or Solomon. My anticipation is Solomon just to potentially tap down opposing creatures if needed. But this is a very, very fast deck here from Stasis. Stasis undefeated through the Swiss rounds and obviously undefeated to get up to this point in the GP. Uh, Absolutely phenomenal competition we've seen here. Just in general, I gotta be a little more cautious with my descriptions here. Not just everything's phenomenal, but this is just like such a cool matchup here. Two very good players uh, pushing themselves to see how well they play. And I'm just going through the record here as they're taking our players are taking opening turns here. Maybe should be paying a little closer attention, but just scanning through records. Yeah, across the 6 rounds Stasis has played up to this finals, Stasis has won 12 of the 13 games they have played. They have dropped a single game in round 4 against Lilithor, who was in fact in the top cut and got knocked out of top cut by All Who Wander. So we have an interesting bit of narrative there. The one person who could take a game off of Stasis was knocked out of the tournament by Stasis's finals opponent. Very exciting here. So we've seen a few things happen here. We have seen Incumbency get Selman Laboratories, as I suspected. We are seeing now Extraction Mission, after an Extraction Ritual, was able to get a few pieces set up. With Double Barbarous Rough Rider pushing a large chunk of damage, and then another 5 points swinging, and another 2 at the end there. That is an 8-point life swing, I believe. And that is an 8-point life swing. Sorry, not an 8-point life swing. Take 3, take 2, take 2, take 2, take 2. That is an 11-point life swing there on turn 3, with All Who Wander having gained 3 from their first incumbency. So that is a big chunk of damage right out the gate here. Notably, this is going to be a slight bit of a problem, just as we have another extraction mission in hand here and no valuable means of leveraging that in the graveyard currently. However, opponent is on the back foot. We have, some solid 3-drops in the opening hand here with Garen as a potential way if there's just like stuff tapped out. I could totally see developing with the intention to try and get a Banish to the Isle in play here, but unfortunately the only untapped duel that makes colored mana being Frostfire Geysers is a bit of a problem here. So we see Phoenix Star, All Who Wander instead holding up a Divine Mishap, Ifara's Judgment, Banished, not Banished to the Isle, Seal Away, or even a Get Your Wish. Get Your Wish, though, kind of locked into just being a tutor here. So it really just becomes a question of like which of these counter spells is All Who Wander getting to play into. Very smart here from Stasis, just kind of going right to combat, saying, okay, if you have some sort of instant speed interaction, I'm going to make you use it before I try to play any spells. Now here, second main, opponent's down to 7 already on your turn 4. Some interesting choices to be had here. Garen is perhaps the best if it can get stuck into play, but Garen cannot be gotten off of Extraction Mission, so I wonder if that is something that Stasis is thinking about, and it does seem to be something on Stasis' mind as they're going for Speaker of Ash, which has the highest outright power, which is a pretty solid consideration here. We are going to see a counter spell, probably, as far as Judgment. I figured that would be the play over Divine Mishap, just as with the double Estroth in hand, Mishap is liable to be a more valuable card later on. We do see Pool of Light picked up, so that is going to finally allow us to play the Banished to the Isle on All Who Wander's side. Lots of stuff going on. This game is blisteringly fast. I took some time to sort of read over the matchups and the course of this league so far, and I have completely missed like half of the game to this point. We do, in fact, see Banished to the Isle coming down on this Barbarous Rough Riders. That is actually, I believe, going to cost All Who Wander the game here, because that is All Who Wander going to 8. Extraction Mission can get back Speaker of Ash, and then Stasis can discard any of these 3-drops in hand. We are going to see a quick game 1, I believe, because yeah, that is going to be Speaker of Ash. Either one of them can just have you sacrifice like the tapped Speaker of Ash, or discard one of the cards in hand, and any of the 3-drops will force Banished to the Isle to go, meaning we have 6 power plus Barbarous Rough Riders coming in to push another 2 points of damage. That is lethal on turn 5. Rapid kill from Stasis. Absolutely astonishing. Players have begun their sideboards, so let's talk real quick about let's see actually if we can go here. Yeah, let's see, how does this look? Awesome, perfect. So All Who Wander on this control deck, we have Walk the Dead's Path, Beauclair's Scorn, Field Test, each repossession, Bring the House Down, Omen of Slaughter, and Soul Guide Lantern. I imagine all 4 of those lanterns are being looked at. Bring the House Down is possible, but I don't know how good it's going to be in this matchup. I could see Beauclair's Scorn being a candidate for bringing into the main deck. I could even see potential contention for Walk the Dead's Path as just more targeted removal. Not sure how valuable it'll be, but that is going to be something we'll have to sort of see here. We already see All Who Wander has locked in their sideboard, so got to kind of move a little quick here. For Stasis, we see Alejana, Glauna, Liquidate, Terminal Impact, Scorching Condemnation, Soul Guide Lantern of their own. I could see Condemnation and Terminal Impact both being relevant as uncounterable pieces of like reach and sort of additional damage. Condemnation shutting off life gain is also pretty relevant with against a deck that is looking to play Incumbency and try and gain some life. Our players are already back in the match. Let's go right back to the match here. All Who Wander is choosing to play here and keeping 6, while Stasis is keeping a 7. We see 3 lands, Ignited Soul, Lackeys into double Rough Rider. Very interesting options here. And Phoenix Star, All Who Wander are going to go ahead and lead on a Nation Lightvein after putting Banish to the Isle to the bottom. So we see Banish, Shrine, Incumbency, and Coup d'etat. Coup's a little awkward to have stuck in the opening hand here, but could still potentially do some good work. Just unfortunate that Nascent Lightvein is not in the best position. We're going to see Shrine to Keranos here. Very likely that this is going to just be pitching that Coup d'etat. We do see our control player sitting here thinking a bit. Lots to ruminate on. Pitching a Estroth. All right. Yeah, decides just don't have the time for Estroth to come down and be meaningful here. So let's go ahead and get that out of hand. We do get a colored mana source, which is more relevant here, that is going to help cast that Coup d'etat. Stasis untapping here, getting in for 1 and pitching that Barbarous Rough Rider. before playing out a Devoted Lackeys. And notably, we have seen the draws be Devoted Lackeys and Barbarous Rough Rider, so there is still a Rough Rider, Black Rough Rider kicking around in hand here. All Who Wander picks up another Astroth. Players just discarding things that they wind up drawing again anyways here in this game too. Not as blistering of a start for Stasis here, but awkward hand and awkward mana situation is going to be a bit of trouble for All Who Wander. Is going to be able to gain 3 life, draw a card, and make that Silliman Laboratory clique is very nice. Going to combat before choosing to make their land drop is also very solid, worthwhile for All Who Wander here. We could see them pitch the second Astroth. They're actually just going to pitch the Mountain here, deciding that they want Astroth more than their other options. And then playing out Nascent Lightfane. Black, so that is going to come in untapped. Kind of an interesting line given the... kind of an interesting line given that they just discarded their Mountain for Coup d'etat, but then Astroth, with their board untouched, does allow them to pay 2 mana for all but black, and then tap Nascent Lightfane for the black to coup while having 2 mana left over. Going right to combat, pushing 3 to clear out that life gained, as well as a Scofo's Conqueror off the Devoted Lackeys that is going to be draw 2, deal 4, make 2 4/3s. The perfect draw there for Stasis. Really putting in some solid work there. One of the things that just makes Devoted Lackeys so terrifying. This is such a cool, such a funky card, and honestly one of my favorite that has joined the format in these past few months. I have not gotten to play enough of this card, and it's so cool getting to see Stasis put this card to work. Pass to All Who Wander, who's picking up the Incumbency. That is actually really solid for All Who Wander. So what I suspect is going to happen here is we can expect to see Astroth tap everything but the Black Nascent Lightfane for white, blue, red, green, then use Nascent Lightfane for black, and then go for Coup d'etat into Incumbency. We are seeing mana get added. Spending, okay, so choosing to Incumbency first, I see. I kind of understand where that's coming from, just try and give yourself more information before locking yourself into a line. However, you really don't have any mana to be able to play most of these other cards. I guess you could go for Get Your Wish if you are so inclined. But yeah, we're going to see Coup d'etat here just get popped off, rewarded for not really binning the Coup d'etat over time with this Shrine, and now Shrine has plenty of options. Get Your Wish, Afara's Judgment, Banish to the Isle, pitching the Banish to go ahead and just draw a redeveloped cityscape here. I feel that may wind up being stuck in hand and just pitched to the next Shrine trigger, as the land drop has already made this turn. Passing back to Stasis. We do see a Scofo's Conqueror pickup here. I suspect we're going to see Audacious Rough Riders into Ignited Soul, but we could also see Devoted Lackeys come down here this turn. I like leading on Audacious Rough Riders. If you don't care for the card that's on that it exiles, you can potentially just run out the Devoted Lackeys on this turn. Does play better into counter spells because copying the spell, I believe, the Devoted Lackeys will copy the spell even if the spell is already been targeted with a counter spell. That might be something to call a judge on, but I'm not 100%. Instead, Stasis is just going for the most aggressive of these lines. Barbarous Rough Riders into Ignited Soul, and Ignited Soul in here. The Cityscape actually gets developed here with the Shrine of Keranos, and they're pitching a Farah's Judgment with a Divine Rule picked up here. That is going to cause a bit of trouble. This Ignited Soul suddenly no longer dealing any damage in the face of a Divine Rule. One of the things that is very notable about Incumbency is that it definitely does trigger indulgence effects, something we really only have this format and next month to get to see that engine collide. And of course, Shrine to Keranos does work very well with Divine Rule as well. Notably, Barbarous Rough Rider, non-token creatures, and Loss of Life, both going to kind of skip around this. Unfortunately, Speaker of Ash, there's no 4-drops in Stasis's deck, 75 sideboard and all. So Speaker of Ash is going to have no way to clear this Divine Rule. And awkwardly, because there is a Selman Laboratories sitting here, even Speaker of Ash pitching an island is not going to be quite up to par here. They could go for Scofo's Conqueror off of Devoted Lackeys, but it is only going to deal 2 damage because of Divine Rule, negating half of that damage, preventing each time. Yep, just swinging the Ignited Soul for the sake of saying you can. Always good to send a message. We are going to see Devoted Lackeys. I think we're going to see Scofo's Conqueror here. Yeah, Scofo's Conqueror comes down, copied off of the Lackeys. And that's going to shoot for 2 and draw 2 cards. We see an Extraction Ritual and another Audacious Rough Rider picked up here. This is kind of a tricky spot to be in if you are Stasis here. Divine Rule just really is like one of those rough to play against cards for anything more aggressive. It does just rapidly quell your ability to lay on a lot of damage, and unfortunately black-red colors that just really struggle to deal with enchantments already. So you know that becomes a bit of a trouble spot for something like this deck, where you know Divine Rule mitigates a lot of your damage and actively just dodges any of the removal that you have for it. Going to combat, pitching the land gotten off of Redeveloped Cityscape, getting another Cityscape, just running it right out. And then we're going to see here that this Divine Rule makes another Angel starting to get out of hand very fast. And Stasis making sure that they're good to take their turn. Picking up an Extraction mission. Graveyard full of creatures here. Unfortunately, the Barbarous Rough Rider isn't quite going to be able to start clearing these Angels, but it may be one of the best lines to get out of this trap here. Just being able to Rough Riders and just start popping a bunch of damage is relevant. Notably, the counterspell over there with Divine Mishap is going to be a bit of a trouble spot, but Extraction Mission does have the ability to be played at instant speed because of this island that we have put into play last turn. Not even going to try and play it at instant speed. We're just playing Sorcery Speed Extraction Mission for Grixis. Targeting Scofo's Conqueror. So they're just trying to draw more cards. And we are going to see... Oh, we're seeing tap for 4 colors off of Estroth. Divine Mishap. Is gonna leave 2 mana floating with nothing particularly to spend it on. Drawing a Frostfire Geysers here. Ignition gets countered, but that is coast clear for Stasis if they wanted to try and pop an Extraction Ritual here, but that is going to be only a ritual for 2. Going ahead and swinging these Scofo's Conquerors. And yeah, I think we're going to see, double block, get these Angels off the board to get these Conquerors off the board. So Angels down, Stasis is under a lot less pressure, but also has a lot less pressure of their own. Way is clear for the Barbarous Rough Rider to start swinging now. And All Who Wander is going to go ahead and pop the Redeveloped Cityscape, get rid of this Frostfire Geysers, start digging further. So we really get to see the power of this 4-color, like 3-color, 4-color control deck here. Just profoundly solid lock here. This very powerful, very fast aggro deck just rips out the gate. Nothing to do about it. Okay, yeah, discarded island to Shrine of Keranos. That is going to be that for the turn. Maybe Stasis considering their options here. We saw Braze and Omen of Deception pick up here for All Who Wander are going to be some really good pieces of interaction. Notably, we can also see Get Your Wish starting to get any 3-drop here. All Who Wander does have a couple interesting options to go ahead and search up. Shrine to Athreos is an option to just sort of start padding that life total, getting themselves more comfortable over time. Could also go for Feast of Whispered Knives. Just start picking off things left on Stasis's board. Extraction mission on Scofa's Conqueror here. Oh, it's an extraction mission pickup. Interesting. Oh, Get Your Wish for Soul Guide Lantern. Oh, that's particularly rough. Yeah, and Stasis just giving the GGs here. That is going to lock Stasis out of this game. Because that Lantern is going to be able to represent double Graveyard Hate. Lantern coming in and just sniping the target for extraction mission while being able to sit and play to shut down a future extraction mission or other graveyard line. It's going to be so potent. Neither player changing their sideboards. They're just going right in, and Stasis is going to be on the play. Can they rush out this match? That's going to be pretty hard. We do see double Soul Guide Lantern on the All Who Wander hand, but they're going to pitch it because it just didn't have enough castable cards other than the Lantern, not enough colored mana. We are seeing Divine Mishap shipped to the bottom for a double redeveloped Cityscape hand with Braze, Mishap, Coup, and Get Your Wish. Stasis out here starting on a Cityscape on 1. We see they boarded in some copies of Alejana. Seems pretty reasonable, solid way to just sort of pick apart the opponent over time. Going to be particularly good in this matchup, I suspect. And in fact, we could even see it coming down on turn 2 here in place of trying to develop the lackeys. Slight mishap, accidentally clicking the wrong land, going ahead and developing that Alejana as suspected. Have to assume, at least on this first turn, All Who Wander is going to go ahead and take 1. Interestingly enough, not cracking Cityscape on Stasis's end step is going to be kind of awkward. Players sorting out pain counters. Just sorting out who tracks these. Players have resolved for Stasis to track the pain counters. I think this is reasonable. I don't believe there's a way for All Who Wander to take Alejana, so it's not as though Stasis is going to have pain counters. I guess there is defect. There is a one of defect that could take it, but I don't suspect that is going to be super relevant. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if defect has been boarded out in this matchup. Second Cityscape, nothing to play on this turn 2, which does mean Alejana is going to probably be getting almost certainly getting another trigger, because this Braze isn't going to be able to do anything about it before that next trigger goes on the stack. Seeing a third land come in, and then this is going to be an unchecked Garen. Braze may have to be pointed at Garen rather than Alejana, which, either of these is going to cause a lot of headaches for All Who Wander here. The uptick, pitching land. Go ahead and draw 2 3-drops. So there's an extraction mission set up for next turn. We see Divine Mishap pitch here over the mountain to go find 2 basic lands. I wouldn't be surprised if this is island, and then pitch the island you get. Oh no, mountain to play. I'm even more confused by keeping the mountain in hand now. Mountain Plains. And then pitch the mountain in hand. Yeah, I don't know if I love pitching the Divine Mishap to the first one. Just because with mountain in hand, you might as well pitch it to the first one if you're not getting if you're going to pitch it to the second one, so that way you could at least have more choice. But suppose they've made their choice. We do see a Soul Guide Lantern draw here, so they could Braze Garen, develop the Soul Guide Lantern. That does open the door for Audacious Rough Riders to come down here. Elf Wonder takes 2 on upkeep, develops a Soul Guide Lantern. Gonna see what they pick out of Graveyard, exiling the Cityscape from Stasis Graveyard, and then passing, holding up the Braze. I think that's probably the most responsible line here. We do see an Extraction Ritual draw here. That's actually going to be able to put the food token from Braze to good use. I could see Devoted Lackeys getting popped here into play, and then just kind of swinging for 1 and digging with Garen. I almost wonder if with Garen in play versus a Soul Guide Lantern, if you just uptick Garen and pitch this mission, just accept that like your plan here is going to be to get a bunch of fair things in play. Yeah, we are pitching Mission, and I think, oh wow, pitching Rough Rider over Skophos Conqueror, drawing Rough Rider and Speaker of Ash. That is going to be land drop getting missed this turn, unfortunately. Notably for All Who Wander, this is kind of the last turn that Braze can be able to kill Garen, because if Garen ticks up any further than this is going to result in Garen becoming untouchable by becoming untouchable to a Braze just sort of taking it out of contention. Combat swinging, pushing another 1 damage. All Who Wander down to 15. Not the kind of aggression you want to see from Stasis in this matchup here, but kind of just doing what they can to push damage where they can. Alejandra is likely not long for this world. We see that coup d'etat in All Who Wander's hand. We are going to see Devoted Lackeys come down here. Could see Extraction Ritual just popped here to draw 4. Yeah, we're going to see Extraction Ritual popped here to draw 4. And probably pitching the Rough Rider, right? Yeah, pitching the Rough Rider. That is going to be real unfortunate into that coup d'etat here. And just props to All Who Wander for the restraint on that Braze. Is going to mean that is 2 less cards coming to Stasis off of this, because that is because the food token hasn't been provided. So that is going to be Braze hitting Garen. They're going to be taking 3 at the upkeep from Alejandra, and then they're just going to get to coup d'etat, clean this board up while holding up mana, and that is a pool of light to give even more flexibility to this mana base. Tapping, wow, leaving up just the regular blue. Yep, coup clearing away this board. And notably, 3 counters from Alejandra. So the next Alejandra will deal 4, unless All Who Wander gives Stasis the window to take cards from their hand. We're seeing Cityscape popped here. I think I like... Oh, I don't like the Extraction Ritual pitch here. I am not a fan of this pitch of Extraction Ritual here. I do think, you know, popping this redeveloped Cityscape is nice here, but I think I like holding the Extraction Ritual because Speaker of Ash can pressure the Soul Guide Lantern out of play. But instead, I think we're seeing Stasis just go for the more aggressive line here, develop Devoted Lackeys plus Skophos Conqueror, just push more damage. All Who Wander to 8 with 8 power in play, and you're drawing 2. You know, fully respect this. My line's the more cautious line. I think Stasis just has their eye on the prize here, so I cannot fault them for this line. And in fact, Incumbency is going to have to find something good here because Get Your Wish can't, and Afara's Judgment can gain 4 life. That is a land off the top for All Who Wander. So Afara's Judgment kind of locked into either just gaining life or countering a spell. Looking much more comfortable now, and Scorching Condemnation is uncounterable, which means Scorching Condemnation can come down here, and that's going to kind of price All Who Wander in to gaining the 4 life then, because they won't be able to counter the Scorching Condemnation. This is actually huge. If Stasis plays the Scorching Condemnation and it resolves without any responses, that is going to be the match. This gets into play without being able to be responded to, and it kills your opponent on board currently. And if they use Afara's Judgment to gain 4 life, you can develop something like Speaker of Ash here, pitch the Ignited Soul, force that Soul Guide Lantern out of play. Which means if Scophos Conqueror ever gets killed, Extraction Mission is now an online line. We see the Condemnation come down. Is All Who Wander gonna gain life with Afara's Judgment? This is the moment of truth. We see the tap for 3. Afara's Judgment. All Who Wander is now tapped out. Now Stasis. What? Kilgar is correctly noting, yeah, it's not counterable. Both players, not both players. Stasis kind of just having a moment of rolling with it. All Who Wander just kind of in the mode of counter any spell that comes down here. All Who Wander kind of just recognizing it as the writing on the wall and calling it there. That is a crazy fast GP match. So much going. That is Stasis's first GP win. Congratulations to Stasis. Phenomenal run here. Undefeated the whole way through. That is their second game loss in the entire event. Just peerless run with this deck. I wish I could have seen more of it, but this deck looks super sweet. I did get to play it very briefly on my own, and I can confirm this deck absolutely runs hot. Well played to Stasis. Congratulations to Stasis. Look forward to seeing what's your promo, buddy? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tournament match here. That brings us to the end of Grand Prix Bastion d'Orlais. Again, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the tournament's over. So, and unfortunately, this is the last GP with Duelists of Varrow in the standard environment, because our next GP is not going to be the standard environment. We are going into an Eternal GP, which is going to have a lot more complicated things happening, and is going to make fast kills like that game 1 look much more frequent. Looking forward to diving into all of that with you all, and I hope you all take care.